Okay folks, now we have this done here. We cut this out back here. Now this little cut we did here, you see this one corner? I'm going to put a line there. I'm going to go take it a little bit at an angle, going across from the side. Okay, so up here it's a little wider and it's over a little bit, so it gives a little bit of an angle when you look at it. Same thing over here. We're going to go from over here to this side, to the front. So technically this will come off, that will come out, and we're going to start cutting underneath where the pumpkin is. So we're going to do each corner. I'm going to put a V cut. Let me get my other knife, my Murphy knife here. And we're going to do the front as well. We're going to just take it in a little bit and start making that deeper, because the breast of the turkey has to come out of here. So now I put a little bit on either side here. Now I'm going to go a little further here, but I have that line there, so I'm going to just make sure I don't get rid of that line there a little bit, because this has to go in further. It's not in far enough. So now you want to be careful you don't cut it from up here, alright? That you cut it, little cuts here until you reach the center there. Notice how I'm going from side to side and just kind of using a slicing motion. It works really well. Instead of just trying to push right down, use a little bit of a slicing motion. Sometimes it makes it a little cleaner cut. Or keeping your knife at a little bit of an angle. We're going to have to go deeper here anyway. So we'll put those lines back on in a little while here. It's not a difficult project to do, but I was out here looking at a block of wood and figuring out how can I make a nice little turkey on top of just using a block without the cutouts, because I think the other two that I have on DVD, you need to cut them out on a bandsaw. So if you don't have a bandsaw, it's a nice little project. The other thing, this project will teach you how to use your little V-tools if you have V-tools. Some of you will not have V-tools. You can still make it anyway. You just don't put the lines in. You can still paint it, make it look nice, and put the eyes in. You don't need to do all the feathering like I did and the texturing I did. So that's optional for you. So I'm going to go across here and try to take that out. There, okay. We got a lot more to cut out, as you can see. I hope everybody had a nice summer and a good fall so far. I had a lot done around the farm. That's why I haven't been doing a lot of carving here. I had my classes. I was busy with that, and I was busy with trying to fix things around here that were kind of neglected for a little while since last year. Taking care of my dad, it was I let some things go, and now I have some equipment. I can start working and getting some things done around here, so that's a good thing. Alright, so we've got a lot more cut to do here. Let's just start taking this in a little bit more on the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to make that cut a little bit deeper all the way around. Leaning it on the table, it's just a little easier to try to get it perfectly. Now that I have it started, and what you want to do is just go back and cut up to it. Now these are going to go, these corners are going to go for the pumpkin. You can do that next. Our pumpkin will be in 8 parts, so kind of remember where the corners are here. but you're going to take the corners down pretty far. And of course we're going to go back up here to the turkey, and we're going to start digging down further. And I'm going to take a little bit off of the breast of the turkey here and round it up a little bit. Okay. As you can tell, I go all over the place with this. I don't stick with one area a lot of times, simply because, well, if I see something that's out of sync, sorry about that, out of sync, I usually go back and try to correct it. This is the butt end here, back into the turkey, and we're gonna. So if you know how to do the pumpkin from before, this will not be a problem. The pumpkin isn't a big deal to do. It's just takes a lot of cutting. When you start from a block, you know, there's a lot of. That's why I went with the cone shape with a lot of things. It just eliminates a lot of the extra cutting that you have to do. It just saves a little bit of time. Somebody asked me, well, why do you do everything with a cone? I go, well, it's because it's just easier. I'm going to bring this down a little bit more. It's just easier to get right to the nitty-gritty of it instead of just putting all your time just cutting wood redundantly, you know, repeatedly the same way. Okay. Now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to start scooping out the back end. This is the back end of the turkey, so I'm going to start removing some of this. Now this gets a little tricky here. I think my line's still there. Gives me a guideline here. Now when you cut in here, you're not cutting this way, you're cutting away from that line. Okay. Alright. We've got a lot more to do on the feathering here. When I did this yesterday, I thought, oh, there is quite a bit to it. I mean, it's not a difficult project, it's just a little bit longer project than what we're normally used to. I had a great time teaching this past fall. It was nice seeing some new people start. It's always encouraging to see people get excited by carving. They really enjoy doing those pine cones, and those pine cones are a lot of fun to do. Okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to keep cutting a little further, and I'll be back in a little bit here. I'm going to start rounding this off. We're going to define lines in a little bit here. Gives us an idea. I'm going to round off the head a little bit. I'm going to go down a little bit because the nostril or the beak is going to be right about here. So it's better to go a little lower than too high, because if you go too high, you can't make it longer. If you shorten it, you can always go back up if it's not to your liking. We're going to put a little V cut right there. Alright. We'll be back.